Alrighty. So, as I shared with our wellness group, July was noted as being the Earth's hottest month in 120,000 years. This was a really hot month. So I thought to myself, what a better time than to talk about staying hydrated, and not just in the context of wellness, which I'm sure you guys know I've talked a lot about, making healthy drink choices, but also in the context of how to stay hydrated and prevent dehydration in this heat, and what electrolytes are, and what even all these things mean, and how it affects our energy levels. So, show of hands, I would love to know how many of you feel like you don't get enough water sometimes, or maybe you can do your fake hand if your camera's not on. Do any of you feel like you struggle to meet your water intake needs? There we go. I got one. I got two. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it can be difficult. So today we're going to talk about the functions of water in the body. Got to give you some background info, some signs and concerns of dehydration, how you can calculate your daily needs, the relationship between exercise and performance and hydration, the best sources, fluid requirements, and then we'll do a little activity to help you calculate your needs. So first, we have to talk about the benefits of hydration. Gotta get a little buy-in from y'all. So I think drinking water is one of the greenest wellness initiatives because we can all focus on it. It's free. We all know we are supposed to stay hydrated and drink water, but this is why. And these are all the great benefits of staying hydrated. And a couple functions here I really want to emphasize is number one, increased metabolism. Of course, as your wellness coach, I'm like, this is a hack. Everyone wants to know how to lose more weight, increase the calories your body is burning. Simply drink more water. Not even talking about dieting, not even talking about exercising, just drinking more water, your body will naturally burn more calories. And then the other benefit I really like to point out here is cognitive function. A lot of people wake up, head to work, and before they know it, it's 2 p.m. and they haven't had a single glass of water. And they wonder why they're struggling to concentrate. They're feeling a little foggy, and your brain physically shrinks when it's dehydrated, and this impairs your thinking processes. So basically, drinking water makes you smarter too. Keyword water, because alcohol does not have the same benefit. And this is just what that looks like. So this is an image of your brain when it's hydrated and dehydrated. As you can see, there's a lot more kind of like indentations and holes in the brain. Your brain is 80% water. So when you aren't getting enough water, your brain tissue physically shrinks in size. And just a 2% decrease in brain hydration can result in short-term memory loss and having trouble with math computations. Isn't that crazy? So prolonged dehydration causes brain cells to shrink in size and mass. And this condition, that the dehydration of the brain cells and the shrinking in the size, mainly is seen in elderly. As you get older, signs of dehydration are more difficult to decipher, and your body's mechanisms for letting you know you're thirsty just don't work as well. So this is definitely something, if you have like an elderly family member, these are some tips that can also help you with identifying dehydration in them. So let's talk about dehydration. So as you can see, when you have inadequate fluid intake, it triggers this glucocorticoid, which is a steroid hormone release that makes you feel hungry. It reduces the calories your body is burning. It slows down your immune system and mental energy, resulting in these not so great side effects: weight gain, overindulgence, illness, and reduced productivity. So, if you or your child or a family member is sick, drinking water is a great way to boost the immune system. The psychologic response to dehydration. So looking at dehydration from the lens of performance, we can also see a cascade of negative side effects. Impaired thermoregulatory ability at 2%, reduced muscular endurance time at 4%, reduced muscular strength, endurance time, and heat cramps at 6%, and then severe heat cramps, exhaustion, heat stroke, coma, and death at 8%. And, especially I know we have a lot of associates that work in factories like the CDC where it can get really hot in there, especially when they're going up and picking the shelf. So even if, maybe you're not directly concerned about heat exhaustion, this is something that it's important to recognize maybe in our coworkers, associates, children as well. A great way to decipher if you're dehydrated is to try out the skin turgor test. So basically you just lightly pinch some skin on the back of your hand and pull it up about a centimeter before letting it go. If you're not dehydrated, the skin will just pop back into place. It just takes a few seconds to settle back down, but if you are, it will continue with that tenting formation. So once again, maybe with a child or a family member where it's difficult to tell if they're dehydrated, if they're not able to communicate their needs, this is really important, but also something you can test on yourself if you feel like you're not getting enough water intake. And if you're tenting, that shows severe dehydration. So we definitely do not want that. And of course, over here on the left are some symptoms of dehydration. I think most of you can recognize these: so dry or sticky mouth, thirst, weakness or fainting, eyes that are sunken in, lethargy, dizziness, dark urine. You're not sweating, heart palpitations, and poor skin turgor, so kind of that like paleness. And of course, monitoring for dehydration can be done through urine color. We're looking for that light yellow as opposed to that amber, brown, and definitely not red. That's severe dehydration that we do not want. Urine color can really tell us a lot about our bodies. All right, fluid needs. So this is the magic number you've all been looking for. I get this question asked all the time. What are my fluid needs? And I always say half your body weight in ounces of water daily. So this is to optimize brain function, energy, and reduce those stress hormones. You want to drink half your body weight in ounces of water daily. So for example, if you are a 180-pound person, you should be drinking 90 to 180 ounces of water a day. So half your body weight to 1 ounce. Generally, I think half your body weight is a good place to start. Obviously, I know for many of you that might sound astronomical, since I know most of you said that you struggle to meet, probably your baseline needs. So always my tip is just to slowly increase from there. So, that little challenge there is a good one to keep in mind for this month, trying to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. But if you aren't even close to that goal, start off slowly increasing your water intake, maybe with an additional 1 to 2 cups, or 1 more water bottle a day, or 1 more cup a day, something like that. And your hydration needs change day to day based on a lot of different factors, the environment, right? So we're dealing with this right now. It's been really hot and humid, and that causes your body to lose a lot more water. The types of activity you're doing. The average person isn't doing a ton of strenuous physical activity. If you're not like a marathon runner or something like that, you don't have to worry too much about the water loss. But if, especially, I remember when I was in high school, we would do 2-a-days for soccer, and we'd be out in the blazing sun for like 4 hours a day. That was definitely a time where we needed to be monitoring our water intake, and especially our electrolyte intake, which we'll get into. Typically, greater than 90 minutes is where you need to be concerned. And of course, looking out for those signs of illness, such as vomiting, diarrhea, and fever. Those are your symptoms of heat stroke. All right, so in the context of exercise, the physiological effects of exercise and dehydration. So this is what happens when you are losing too much water after exercise. Your blood volume is decreased, cardiac output, VO2 max, skin blood flow, sweat and heart dissipation, concentration, and your lubrication to the joints and muscles. So more rubbing there. And then of course you have an increased core temperature, muscle glycogen use, and risk of energy. So losing as little as 2% of your body weight during exercise can cause fatigue and impair performance. So if you are a 200-pound person, losing 4 pounds during exercise of water weight can cause that impairment. And 4 pounds might sound like a lot, it might not. It's pretty easy to lose 4 pounds of water weight in exercise. Once again, the warning signs of dehydration: muscle cramps, nausea, vomiting, headache, dizziness, confusion, disorientation, weakness, reduced performance, and ability to concentrate. So just important things to keep note of. And I mean, I know we're talking about the context of exercise, but you could be experiencing these personally at home. I mean, I know a lot of people experience muscle cramps. That's from an electrolyte imbalance. You could be having nausea and vomiting or headaches, especially from that brain shrinking like we talked about. And electrolytes are a very buzzy word right now. I think there's more electrolyte supplements on the market now than ever before that I've seen. Electrolytes are crucial for body processes like conducting nerve impulses, contracting muscles, hydrating, and regulating pH levels. You need adequate electrolytes from your diet to keep your body healthy. And some of the electrolytes that are found in our body are specifically sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, magnesium, phosphate, and bicarbonate. But these can also be found in foods. You don't have to take them in from supplements, and we'll go over that in a second. But electrolytes are really what prevent that heat stroke, and consuming adequate amounts of fluids and electrolytes is recommended to keep your body cool. So when you sweat, I don't know if you've ever felt that like salty feeling. You do physically lose those electrolytes through your sweat, so the salt and potassium, and the losses increase with intensity and duration. And it also changes based on you personally. So I might be more of what's called a salty sweater in comparison to someone else. So how can you hydrate for exercise? About an hour before working out, try to consume 16 to 20 ounces of water or a water bottle, just generally about 16 ounces of water, to go to your workout hydrated. And then during your workout, aim to maintain hydration by consuming about a cup, 7 to 10 ounces, about every 15 minutes. And then post-workout, you want to rehydrate with 20 ounces for every pound lost during your workout. So you could try weighing yourself before and after the workout to calculate how much fluid you need to replenish out of curiosity. So let's talk about those electrolyte sources. I think you can see over here, the most popular one that I'm sure you've all heard about and have probably made electrolytes famous is Gatorade. Gatorade is a good source of electrolytes, but it comes along with a lot of sugar. So that's something to be aware of. So these are all the different sources, and I'll get into, how to choose more. But chocolate milk, I know you're probably like, what on earth? Milk is actually rich in a lot of different electrolytes. Cow's milk is kind of like an unsung hero in the fitness world because it's rich in calcium, sodium, and potassium. And it's also rich in carbohydrates and protein. So it's a great post-workout drink. Then we have these noon tablets here. These I'm a really big fan of. You can just pop them in your water, gives you those electrolytes, very minimal sugar in these. They give a little bit of flavor. I use these pretty frequently. You can find them at Giant Eagle, or most grocery stores have the noon tablets. And then over down here in the left corner, we have Liquid IV. Big fan of Liquid IV, has a better flavor, also has high levels of electrolytes, quite a bit more sugar that comes along with it. And then also, many people don't realize that just traditional juices are a good source of electrolytes. So I specifically put black cherry juice here, great source of electrolytes, also very anti-inflammatory. Orange juice is also a good source of electrolytes. And then over here listed, I think we all know pickles are a good source of electrolytes. I don't know if you've ever heard of someone drinking pickle juice. And then lots of fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, dairy products, all that good stuff. And then this one is probably my favorite source of electrolytes, coconut water. We want to get the clear, fat-free kind with no added sugars. In comparison to your traditional sports drink like Gatorade, it's 12 times higher in potassium, 50% lower in sodium. So it still has electrolytes, but not too many, and 25% lower in carbohydrates. So that's sugar. And so these are perfect. Coconut water is the perfect electrolyte drink for the average person. The average person does not need Gatorade post-workout. You're not doing that high of an intensity exercise. That's more for someone who's doing hours of soccer and running and spending time in the hot sun, hours of running a marathon where you need those carbohydrates that come with it. Coconut water is great for that, like 45 minutes, less than an hour workout that most people are doing on a regular basis. So yeah, this is a great one to check out. And yes, just try to get the unflavored varieties in comparison to the flavored ones, because there are ones that come with sugar. And you can create your own electrolyte drinks. So that's what this is. You can take a screenshot of this, or you'll see it in the recording that I send out. But really simple recipe: coconut water, a little bit of honey, some orange or lime juice, and then that salt. And that is your own homemade Gatorade with a lot less sugar and no artificial sweeteners or any of that junk that you don't want. Another form of hydration, I think this is like a hot topic, is caffeine, and specifically coffee. I think there's always been a lot of debate over whether coffee dehydrates you or not. And what research has found is that unless you're drinking more than 5 cups of coffee a day, coffee will not dehydrate you. It actually does hydrate you more. So coffee does have a diuretic effect. It does cause you to lose more water. But if you're drinking less than 5 cups a day, the benefit of the water you're getting in the coffee is higher, as well as the other benefits of coffee. Coffee is actually the greatest source of antioxidants in the American diet. If you don't know what antioxidants are, they basically are what prevent cancer. They fix our cells when they're damaged. So we love antioxidants, and that's what's also in like berries and fruits like that. So caffeine can be a performance booster. So if you're feeling like, I don't have the energy to go work out, drink a cup of coffee, take a shot of espresso, no problem. Also has been linked to preventing type 2 diabetes through high levels of magnesium is what does that. Reduces risk of cancer, same with related to that antioxidant effect, Parkinson's, liver disease, dementia, improves mental alertness. We know this. So up to 300 milligrams a day is considered safe for adults. So I did not list energy drinks here for a reason. They tend to come with a lot of other junk in them that we don't want, but here are the listed amounts of caffeine. And as you can see, one energy drink typically contains upwards of 150 to sometimes over 200 milligrams of caffeine. We're trying to stay under that 300 milligram amount. So if you're someone that's drinking multiple energy drinks a day, that's really going to strain your heart and your vascular system. So something to look at, maybe reducing a little bit or switching to these more gentle forms of caffeine like coffee or even green tea, black tea. And of course, we know coffee and any type of caffeine does have some negative side effects, definitely some nervousness, anxiety, trouble sleeping. So just something to be aware of, and elevated blood pressure. All right. Healthiest sources. This is the part you're probably waiting for. So, I think a lot of people hear these numbers of how much water they're supposed to be taking in every day and don't think about the fact that 20 to 30% of their water intake can come from food. 70 to 80 from beverages, but 20 to 30% can come from food. So some good sources here are cucumber, lettuce, broccoli, watermelon, of course. Vegetables and fruits are just packed with water and can help top off those fluid and nutrient stores. So while you shouldn't replace water with produce, eating at least 3 colors from vegetables and fruits with each meal will ensure you're well hydrated. So maybe swap out some veggies and fruits for snacks and meal side items. Maybe have some celery and apples or pears with some nut butter, or cucumber slices or baby carrots with hummus, or a side salad with your meal. And that can help you increase your fluid intake as well. So that's kind of an area where you might, an area of opportunity that you might not have thought of, is increasing those water-rich fruits and vegetables. Green tea I don't know if many of you drink green tea, but this is also just packed with antioxidants. One of the healthiest things you can add to your diet. If you don't like the flavor, I would say it's okay to add a little bit of honey or a little bit of stevia to sweeten up a little bit. Matcha is one of my favorite forms of green tea. I absolutely love a good matcha latte in the morning. And higher green tea consumption is associated with reduced risk of cancer. Same thing related to those antioxidants, coronary artery disease, and arterial sclerosis. So that's cholesterol. So notice that coffee, I can find some benefits. Green tea, I can find some benefits of drinking these beverages. Soda, energy drinks, and even juice, really not any benefits to drinking these items. They're high in calories and sugar, low in nutrients. Something that many people don't know is that too much sugar can aid in dehydration. It causes your body to transfer water from other cells and increases urination, which leads to dehydration. So the sugar intake isn't just something that you want to reduce related to obviously the risk of diabetes and other negative health side effects. It does lead to dehydration. And then, I do get the question about diet and artificial sweeteners a lot. Stevia is the only one that I say is okay, and it's really consumed at small amounts because stevia in large portions, if you've ever tried it, becomes bitter. Alternatively, those sucralose, aspartame, stevia, Splenda, those diet sweeteners, although they have 0 calories, they do have some research has shown over time that they have some negative side effects on your GI tract. They stimulate appetite because they're sweet without providing calories and can cause headaches in those with sensitivity. And furthermore, soda just erodes your teeth. It's not good for your teeth. So maybe I have a little challenge down here for you, and this is something you can keep in mind for our hydration challenge for the month of August. Maybe try swapping out if you're someone that normally drinks a Gatorade or a juice or something like that. Maybe just try swapping out one for a glass of water a day. So I'm not saying you have to cut it out altogether, although if you want to, I totally support you because this stuff just isn't so good for you. But maybe just start with one a day. Or something else I recommend to people is if they just love having like a can of pop every day, maybe try getting the minis. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen those. They have the little mini cans that you can try out so that you're not drinking the whole can. And I hear that from a lot of people anyway who are pop can drinkers, is that oftentimes they drink half the can and then it's warm and they don't even finish it. So why not get the smaller can? And then alcohol, also not so positive for your hydration, increases fluid loss and by blocking antidiuretic hormone. So maybe if you are drinking, try alternating with a glass of water in between drinks. And then I will give you with this one tip, lots of sugar and wine. Wine has some benefits, but lots of sugar. And I got a chat. Yes, Chris said, from a safety and injury standpoint, dehydration can also increase the likelihood of back injury or back pain because your disc can collapse and shrink without proper dehydration. Yes, and that goes back to what I said about lubrication of joints back in those initial slides. So, I mean, any joints, not even just your back, your knees, if you're having back pain, knee pain, hip pain, as we get older, we get a lot of aches and pains. So, people all want a magic pill. They all want some magic solution, but really most of the solutions to the health problems that you face are simple. It's drinking more water because it lubricates your joints, especially if you're someone with arthritis. Maybe it's drinking some black cherry juice, which is known to be really anti-inflammatory, eating more fruits and vegetables, which are anti-inflammatory, eating less sugar, which is inflammatory. So as much as it's not glitzy or glamorous, most of the solutions to these aches and pains we have are just really simple. They're not complex. It's just drinking more water and less of the sugary stuff. But I was going to say, so if you are a drinker, I typically recommend like trying to stick to like not that I like to recommend people drinking, but I feel like this is a tangible tip, like straight tequila or straight vodka are no calories, minimal carbohydrates. Mix that with a seltzer water or a seltzer with a splash of juice or something. And that's how you can have an alcoholic beverage with less sugar intake that comes along with it. Even the seltzers like White Claws are still pretty high in carbohydrates. Even the light beers tend to be pretty high in carbohydrates. I know they have a Mick, I think it's Mick Ultra that's around like only 80 calories now, so that's good. Because we don't want to drink our calories. So even when it comes to alcohol, some of those sugary drinks, the Mai Tais or Cosmopolitans, they taste sweeter and they taste better, and that's because they're loaded with sugar. So if you want to eat your calories and not drink them, personally, I enjoy food and I want to save my calories for that, then that's a good little hack to still be able to have alcohol once in a while. Without as much sugar, is just going for like the good like vodka soda, tequila soda, that type of thing. And I know they don't taste as great, but a little bit better for you in the context of alcohol. All right, so let's talk about some hydration hacks. So here's where I want to ask all of you, do you have any drinks that you drink or anything you do to your water or water bottles or anything that you like to use that helps you drink more water? Any beverages you enjoy, anything like that?
I like hint water. It's like it's no sugar and it's no artificial sweeteners, and it just has something that's better than just plain water because I really just hate drinking water, to be honest.
Yes, Hint is a great one. I think that one's got like a little bit of stevia in it, which is a-okay. When I used to work at Heinen's, I was like I ordered all the wellness items, and Hint was one of my products, and that's a good one. I like Hint. Mike said, add Himalayan salt and a squeeze of lemon in every glass. That is a natural electrolyte recipe. That's great. Pedialyte. You know what? I meant to add Pedialyte to my slide with the electrolytes. Pedialyte is a good source of electrolytes. It doesn't have, you can get one with added sugar, but generally doesn't have added sugar, which is if someone's experiencing signs or symptoms of dehydration, Pedialyte is a great go-to. I put some of my favorites on this slide. So first would be just infusing your water. And there are so many things you can infuse your water with. Fruit, herbs like basil or mint, or even like roots like ginger, maybe a little ginger in your water if you've ever tried that. Cinnamon, there are so many options. I tell anyone I work with about these True Lemon packets. These ones that are shown here are actually crystallized lemon. So you can go and cut up slices and put lemon in your water, which by the way is also very detoxing and great for your body. But if you don't want to be cutting up lemons, this is actually crystallized lemon and it's just in a packet you pour in your water. No added sugar, no stevia, nothing. So a really great thing to try. They also have some alternative options that are stevia based. They have like a strawberry lemonade one that I really like to add to my water sometimes. So this is like something that I would recommend. There are a ton of drink packet options out there, but a lot of them have a lot of yucky ingredients like the sucralose or the aspartame or artificial colors and sweeteners and stuff like that. So this is a brand that I would recommend. Alternatively, the seltzer waters, these are hot on the market right now. I don't know if you guys have seen Bubbly, LaCroix is another brand, Aha, Spindrift. These are all unsweetened seltzer waters. I have worked with a lot of people who struggle to remove pop from their diet because they enjoy the carbonation. And this is how they do it, is using these. So I have someone I work with who was addicted to pop for many, many, many years, pop soda, whatever you call it. And he started drinking, I think for him it was black cherry bubblies, and it did it for him. He loved them and it helped him kick that habit. Celsius. So Celsius does have the sucralose. Okay, so what I will tell you is there's a second variety of Celsius. I forget what it's called, but it's got stevia as the sweetener instead of the sucralose, but it's much harder to find. I really struggle to find it. So if you can find the stevia one, I say it's okay in moderation, staying under that 300 milligram of caffeine limit recommendation. But try to limit the one that has the sucralose in it, just because, like I said before, sucralose can increase cravings and not so great for your gut health. And then Ultimate, this is a brand of electrolytes that you can order on Amazon if you want something just sweet to add to your water. If you hate plain water, these are flavored and they're stevia based. You're welcome. Tea. So I said green tea, but I also have a lot of people find success with like flavored tea. So I had someone that was using a mango tea or a raspberry tea. They're not sweetened, but they do have, the tea bag has like mango chunks in it, so it sweetens your tea naturally. Hot or cold, it can be a really nice, more flavored way to enjoy water and increase your water intake. This is one you probably wouldn't think of, like a bone broth. Bone broth is really rich in collagen and great for your gut health. So another way to just hydrate more. I see a lot of people who maybe aren't coffee drinkers or are trying to wean themselves off coffee, but want to enjoy something warm in the morning. Bone broth, great option. And you can get bone broth pretty mainstream now. You can get it at the grocery store. And then my other tip is maybe adding a splash of juice into your water, or even watering down your juice if you're a juice drinker and kind of want to move away from that. So I put this brand RW Cumson because it's a pure juice brand. If you are a juice drinker, definitely try to get the 100% juices. Those are usually the ones that are refrigerated. If you go find the apple juice, like that's not refrigerated, it's probably mainly high fructose corn syrup and has very little real apple in there. If you are drinking the juice that is real, at least you're getting some of the benefits from the fruit. Whereas, if it's just sugar, that's not doing anything for you. And then, last, these are called, what is this thing called? Circle. That's what it's called. Circle water bottles. I forgot for a second. Have any of you tried the Circle water bottle or heard of it? I have a couple of people I work with that use these, and they are really cool. So it's basically a water bottle that has a flavor attachment on it. And as you can see in that picture, there's a bunch of different packets. And they have some that have the fake sweeteners in them, but they have some really good ones that are stevia based or even have no added sugar. So you basically buy these little packets and it attaches to the water bottle, and it lasts, I'm not sure how many, maybe like 8 to 10 water bottles. Every time you refill your water bottle, it infuses the water with that flavor. And you can also adjust the intensity, so how sweet or not sweet it is, which I think is nice because everyone has a different perception to sweetness. And for some people, what might be really sweet is not for others. So I think that's really amazing. If you are someone that struggles with water intake and needs a little flavor in their water and wants it to be easy, Circle water bottles, CIRKUL, look it up. They're great. And then I just wanted to share some simple strategies here. I'm sure you all have your own that you've tried. Here are some that I recommend to people that I work with as a health coach. Maybe just keeping a water bottle on your desk, right? Out of sight, out of mind. So if you have a water bottle on your desk, I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you, I got a water on my desk, I can stop and drink while I'm talking, or I just might subconsciously drink without even thinking about it. If you don't have one on your desk, well, then it's like, well, now I have to get up and go get a cup of water, or I don't have, I think there's a lot of importance around having a cup or a water bottle that you really like. Maybe keeping it in your gym bag or in your car, always having it accessible. Sticky notes are something that some people do. They'll put a little sticky note maybe on their laptop and it says, just drink water. So when they're working throughout the day and they just need that little nudge or reminder, that could do it for them. Or maybe the check marks on the water bottle. I see some people get the big jugs that have the times. Those can be really helpful. Maybe setting reminders on your Outlook calendar, like a little appointment from you to take care of yourself and drink some water. Or on your cell phone, you can set the reminders as well. And then maybe using an app. So I listed a couple different apps here. I've heard a lot of people that use the Fitbit app and really enjoy it. Water Llama, Aqua Alert. There's probably 1,000 different water drinking apps out there. So if this is something that you think would be helpful to you, maybe do a little research, see what's out there. Over here, I put a picture of one of those water bottles. You can order them on Amazon and write the times, or you don't have to buy anything. Get one of those gallon jugs, plastic jugs of water from the grocery store, write the times on it with a Sharpie, boom, you have this. Ice. So this is just like little tips that I think of that everyone just likes their water differently. Some people like ice, some people don't. You can even get like the little countertop pellet ice dispensers from Amazon to put on your counter, like in your kitchen, so that you can have pellet ice. I know we have pellet ice at Ridgewood in the kitchen, and I love it. I love pellet ice. It just like makes me enjoy my water more. Rubber straws. That's what I have right here. You can get them on Amazon. They're cheap. It's like this one has a pretty big hole, and I feel like it helps me suck the water down pretty quickly. There's also metal straws. It's just a preference thing. I don't really like the taste of metal, so I like getting these little rubber straws. Glasses. I love mason jars. I personally enjoy drinking out of mason jars. Some people enjoy metal water bottles. They like the flavor of a metal water bottle. Some people like plastic water bottles. I mean, it's really, and there's glass water bottles too. These are really things that you can explore within yourself and see just what you like, what you enjoy, what works for you. And when I talk to people about wellness and creating these new habits, I always just say, have an open mind. It's an experiment, right? You don't know what works. If you're struggling right now, you don't really know what works for you. So why not try a rubber straw? See if it works. They're probably $4 on Amazon. Spend $4, see if it works. Maybe it helps you. And all of a sudden, you've got that metabolism burning from all that extra hydration, and you're thinking more clearly because your brain can actually function and you get all those wonderful benefits. I mean, what do you have to lose, right? So I just like to say, come from a place of like an open mind and just trying new things and seeing what works. Throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, right? So here are just some take-home points from what we talked about today. Water is obviously really crucial to your body's function. Not enough leads to dehydration, which impairs cellular function. So all you got to do to prevent that is just drink water. And that's half your body weight in ounces of water a day, 1/2 to times 1. And aim to drink water or green tea or maybe some of those other seltzers or items that I talked about. Drink more if you're exercising. And when you fall behind, it's hard to catch up. So, and the other thing I'll say is that generally, if your body is sending signals that you're thirsty, you're already on the path to being dehydrated. So it's really great to just have the habit, create the habit of just drinking regularly throughout the day, not necessarily because you're thirsty, but because you know you need to. So here's a little activity you can do right now. Think about what you weigh and times that by 1/2 to 1. And then think about how many meals you eat a day. So whether you're someone who eats 2 meals, 3 meals, 4 meals. So say you're 200 pounds and you want to drink half your body weight in ounces of water a day, that's 100 ounces. And then maybe you drink, or maybe you eat 3 meals a day. So that would be about 33 ounces per meal that you want to be having. And this is a great way to divide it up mentally. If you know by noon I need to have 66 ounces down, that can help you kind of create those goals for the day. And like I said before, that might sound like a lot. You might think, well, I don't get 33 ounces until 9 p.m. That's okay. Just always start slow and increase. And I know it sounds crazy. If you're drinking 33 ounces and struggling right now, and I'm telling you to drink 100, you're probably like, that's impossible. But I promise you, with time, your body catches up and starts to crave that much water. So like right now, your thirst perception is a little bit impaired, but it will build back up over time. Yes, the complaint I hear a lot is that you will be running to the bathroom more. I know, but just think about it as an opportunity to get more steps, okay? All right, any questions? Can you ever drink too much water? So I'm gonna say technically yes, but really no. I mean, so there is called like a condition called hyponatremia, when you have too much water and not enough electrolytes, but that only happens if you are drinking, like if you were chugging gallons within like 2 hours. So you don't really have to worry about that. But generally I say, like, even without taking weight in mind, like no one needs to drink more than like a gallon of water a day. Any other questions? Our healthy hydration challenge starts August 14th. So that's not next Monday, but the following. So I will be sending more details out about that. Really, the challenge is not only to drink more water, but to also swap in those healthy drink options. Normally we do the Rethink Your Drink Challenge in August, but I also wanted to just bring back this year a focus on just drinking water in general, like no judgment, because hydration in general can be difficult. And, we just want you to stay hydrated because, like I said, it literally makes you smarter. So that is all. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'll hang by a little bit, but otherwise, I finished in 40 minutes. I'm pretty proud of myself. So thanks all for joining me, and I hope you had some good takeaways from this. You're welcome.